Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be previewing this coming Saturday's meeting here from Fanny Bay, which is Caulfield Cup Day and the Everest Race Day, the 19th of October. A competitive 5-race card awaits us on Saturday with 47 acceptors, although there will need to be 4 scratchings on the day due to having just the 10 riders in attendance. The first time to jump at 2:40 p.m. is the Tab Same Race Multi-Handicap. It's a 0 to 64 1300 metre event, and my numbers are 9, 5 and 3. Going here with number 9, Style and Grace from the stable of Ella Clark. Ella's only had this horse for the 4 runs, bought out of the recent Tried Horse sale held at Alice Springs during the carnival down there. Finished third first up, then was a winner during the carnival. Then it was down the track as well during the carnival, and its most recent effort was a third. That was on the 21st of September. That was 1200 metres. The step to 1300 will suit Style and Grace. She won during the carnival in 0 to 62 grade over 1300 metres, and she'll be very hard to beat in the hands of Aaron Sweeney. So number 9 on top for me. Ahead of, as we turn back over the page, number 5, and that is Ankle Rolex. Paddy Johnson Trains was a winner 2 starts back here, and then just forget it went round last time. Nothing went right, covered quite a lot of extra ground after drawing barrier 6. Drawn wide again in barrier 9, but that hopefully will be negated by rider Chris Taylor. Chris visiting from Queensland. He's a South African rider, a good rider by all accounts, rode a number of winners during the recent Kununurra Carnival, so good to have Chris here. He takes them out on Ankle Rolex, have it in to run second, and then for third, number 3, the last start winner is Stern Magic for the Inform Tommy Logan stable. Sonia in the saddle, drawn badly, but once again that 1300 metre start allows a good run down the back before the first turn, so hopefully Sonia can get a Stern Magic in a challenging position come the first turn. So my numbers in the first are 9, 5 and 3. We go to the second, the Bet365 handicap. We move to the 1200 metre gate now for the 0 to 70 sprinters. Just a field of 6, our smallest field of the day, but nevertheless a competitive little race. Numbers here are 3, 1 and 2. Going with Changes Coming. He's a bit of an enigma, but from the inside gate with Jared Todd aboard, I think as long as he does everything right at the start, can be a bit tricky at the start, but if he does everything right and jumps, he can lead on the fence and he'll take plenty of catching from there. He has got 2 kilos less than his stablemate in my second selection, Pharaoh Magic, and he's going up in grade and up in trip. Changes Coming, but he's long been a promising type. Hasn't always done things right, but hopefully he's on the right track now after that last start win on the 21st of September. Trained by Gary Clark, Jared Todd in the saddle. I've got him on top to beat the stablemate Pharaoh Magic, who was very good winning here on the 5th of October. Adam Nichols rode on that occasion. He takes the mount again. He's only had the 5 starts in the top end, has Pharaoh Magic for a couple of wins, a second and a third. So he's a promising type as well. And my third selection, the very consistent number 2, Mr. Havachat, Chris Nash trains. Hannah LeBlanc, visiting from Victoria, takes the mount. She was on last start when the horse finished second to Doc O'Connor. That was a really good run in a stronger field than this. So he's down in grade, Mr. Havachat. Drawn barrier 4 in a 6-horse field. Doesn't sound too bad, but I know Chris would have liked to have drawn maybe a little closer to the rail, but that said, he'll give a good account of himself. Numbers in the second, 3, 1 and 2. The third's the Sitzler handicap over the 1100 metres for the benchmark 54 gallopers. My numbers here are 3, 1 and 6. My best bet of the day, number 3, Star Spangled Dancer for Gary Clark and Jared Todd. Fresh up, hasn't raced since the 17th of July, but she's capable mare on her day. She goes good in a fresh state. She's won 2 of her last 4. And the 1100 metres I think suits. She's had 4 starts at the distance and has been a winner. I understand that she's done well in her break and she'll be hard to beat. I think number 3, Star Spangled Dancer. In for second, number 1, Just for Marcus. Adam Nichols for Tayan Holter. And you had the 1 start here in Darwin. That was a third on the 14th of September behind Devil's Delight. Should be improved for that. And my third selection, the fresh up runner Canada Bay for Tommy and Sonia Logan. Hasn't had a run since carnival time. But capable enough, and drawn barrier 4 should get a good run from there. Numbers in the third, 3, 1 and 6. We go to the 1000 metre start now for the Rowan Trobus handicap. This is the class 2 event, and as I mentioned, over the sprint trip of 1000 metres. Numbers here are 1, 2 and 4. Going with the newcomer to Darwin in number 1, Faithful Champion. Had a run or two in the earlier life in Hong Kong, but then he was in Victoria. He won a race down there. In fact, his last start on the 5th of March, won at Wagga. He's found his way to the top end. He's trained by Chris Nash. Hannah LeBlanc in the saddle, claims the 3 kilos. Drawn just a bit sticky in barrier 6, but showed plenty of pace when he won last start. And I know that his trainer's happy with him, even though this is a tricky little race. But I'm going with number 1, Faithful Champion, to make a winning top-end debut. Ahead of number 2, Polarising. He's another horse that hasn't had a run for a while. 5th of August, Darwin Cup Day was his last start. But he raced really well during the Carnival Polarising. He had a first, a second and a third and didn't have all favours. Tommy and Sonia are having a good run at the present time. And I've got Polarising in to be very hard to beat. And my third selection, number 4, Nike from the Phil Cole stable. Vanessa Arnott in the saddle from the 1 gate, should get all favours from there. Only had 2 starts in Darwin, 1 first up and then a good second last time out behind Yaki Ishi. So numbers in race 4 are 1, 2 and 4. And the last, the Silks Darwin handicap. We go to the mile for this last race, the 1600 metre start for the 0 to 58 gallopers. Numbers here in a decent lineup, 1, 5 and 2. Going with Magnetic Tycoon on top for Gary Clark, and Aaron Sweeney was a last start winner in this grade over this trip on the 14th of September. All things point to the horse being very hard to beat again. Hasn't had a run for 5 weeks, but Gary, I'm sure, will have the horse up to the mark. 1 on top for me. Ahead of number 5, I'm a Dreamer. Now, this horse ran second to Magnetic Tycoon last start, so going around that same race form. In fact, he's run second his last 3, has I'm a Dreamer. Hannah LeBlanc in the saddle for Tayan Halter. And then for third, number 2, Miracoli. Could be an improver for Dick Leach. Chris Taylor takes them out. Only had the 1 start back this campaign. That was on the 5th of October. He, as I say, should be an improver. So numbers in the last are 1, 5 and 2. Best bet on the day, as I mentioned earlier, race 3, number 3, Star Spangled Dancer. I think she'll be very hard to beat. Drawn, I think, barrier 3. She should find the fence and lead from there. Jared Todd gets on well with the mare, and I think she'll be very hard to beat. Race 3, number 3, Star Spangled Dancer, the best. Well, the best roughie probably won't be that rough either, but it's in the first, race 1, that is, number 8, Royal Signal. Race 1, number 8, Royal Signal for Jason Manning and Vanessa Arnott. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk. We'll be back again same time next week as we preview the Cox Plate meeting here from Fanny Bay. Always a good meeting here as we build towards, of course, the Melbourne Cup meeting on the first Tuesday in November. So until next week, good luck and good punting.